MEM School of Engineering, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Subject code
IC 6003 and RO 8591, Principle of Robotics, Event number 2.
online lecture 2. So direct and inverse kinematics of robotics. In this unit, we are going to discuss about direct kinematics or forward kinematics and inverse kinematics of robotics. So we have following topics: uh, mathematical representation of robots, position and orientation, homogeneous transformation, various joints, representation using DH parameters, degree of freedom, direct and inverse kinematics, SCARA robots, solvability, solution methods, and closed form solutions. These are we are going to discuss in this chapter. First, forward kinematics. So, what is forward kinematics? In robotics, we have different links and joints. Okay, for finding the end effector position and orientation, so we need to define the joint angles because each joints having different angles, theta 1, theta 2, like that. So if the position of end effector in particular position, for example 1, 2, 3 in xy direction, means we have to define the joint angles. That's we are going to analyze and we are going to define, that is forward kinematics, finding the end effector given by the joint angles. Okay, so here type of robotic joints. So before we need to define the joint angles, we need to know the what are the joints available. So one is rotary joint, another one is prismatic joint, second one, third one 2D rotary joints, next spherical. Rotary joint is normally defined with theta about z axis. Prismatic angle, prismatic joints, it is moved in a linear manner. So we need to define the d in the axis of z. It is displacement. Next one, 2D freedom described by the yaw and pitch positions. In spherical, they are described by three rotations: wrist and shoulder method. These are the different robotic joints. Robotic configuration, we have three type of configurations: Cartesian, SCARA, spherical. Okay, these are, we have a number of configurations like that. Here we are going to say about three only: Cartesian, SCARA, and spherical. First one, setting the coordinate system. For define the end effector coordinate system, we are using Dennavant-Huttenberg's coordination. That is a DH coordinate we need to define. It is a key basis of TH coordinator. That is, there is a only one normal between two lines in a space. Okay, that is parallel lines and intersecting lines except these lines. So common normally has a zero length. Suppose there are two joints axis zi and zy, means the n value will be like this: zi minus 1 into zi by zi minus 1 in zi modulus. So DH coordinates are numbered relative to the base, that is 0 joint I connectors link I minus 1 to I link. That means if we have 4 links, means the link will be 4 minus 1. So there are 3 links available. Okay, so that is defined the DH parameter value. So in this we have different links like that, a link, joint, and link in the coordination values. These are steps to find out the DH parameter or DH coordination for forward kinematics identification. Here parallel or intersecting axis. So these two axes we need to define for set the end effector position. When neighbor axis intersects AI is equal to 0, that is n value will be 0. For parallel axis, we intersect x minus 1 at 0, sorry, origin I minus 1. This is a parallel and intersect axis definition. Next, examples of forward kinematics. So we have two planar manipulator, axis at ends, avoid transformation to find the endpoint, make x to the approach vector. So here we have two links, L1 and L2, sorry, A1 and A2. So first one angle will be, joint angle will be theta 1, secondary will be theta 2. The position of origin 2 defined by the theta 1 and theta 2. If we are varying the theta 1 and theta 2 value, the position of origin 2 will be varied. Okay, this is a basic example for two planar manipulator. SCARA. So how to find forward kinematics in a SCARA? So here SCARA is a pick and place robot model. So here we have three joints, 1, 2 and 3. So location of origin 3 and x3 are arbitrary. So however origin 3 and determines the d3. So here we have prismatic linear movement. So here we have rotary movement like that. That is defines the displacement and forward kinematics coordinate transformation. For link I to link I minus 1 of the 2D planar robot, so rotate about the z minus 1, z I minus 1 axis by theta I, then about x axis by theta alpha I. That is r is equal to r of theta and r of alpha. So theta is this is a translation component referred to axis I minus 1, that is d value. Next, homogeneous transformation. So it is the main part of define the end effector question, that is T transformation vector. So for each joint we need to define the transformation vector. For example, if we have four joints means we need to find out 3 transformation. So how the data value will change? Here C represents cos, S represents sine, like that. Relating any two link frames with the composition of interleaving frames, we can link any two frames, that is T and T. So using these coordinates, that is transformation vectors, we can identify the next transformation vector value depend on the previous joints. If we have joint 1 and 2, it will define the transformation vector for the next joint. For efficiency, we normally decompose the frames into separate rotations and translation. For define the end effector, we need to define what is the n number of rotation values, so what is the n number of translation values used in the previous joints. It is define the end effector option and orient. For forward, mainly why we go for forward kinematic computations, the main aim is find the position and orientation of the last frame n with respect to the base frame. So last frame value with respect to the 0, that is base frame. So sometimes additional frames are added at the beginning or end, so depend on the vision system and tools and objects. Once object is grasped, the kinematics are constant for practical purpose can be considered part of the last link. So this is the forward kinematic computation process. Kinematic calibrations, that is set during manufactures, wear error, kinematic calibration scheme, measurement and experimental tool transformations, most objects geometry and known vision systems. Okay, till now we discussed about forward kinematics, that is end effector value defined by the joint angles. So how much the joint angles moves, so we are using theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, like that. We are d value, like that we are defining the end effector portion. Here we are going to define the inverse kinematics. That means given a goal position, find the joint angles for the robot arm. Okay, here reverse portion, that means using joint angles for joint angles movement, we are defining the frame. For joint angle movements, we are defining the what end effector position. This is the inverse kinematics, solvability, and closed form solutions are like that. So 2D manipulator solver for theta 2. This is the form of x square plus y square is equal to a1 square plus a2 square minus 2 a1 a2 cos phi minus theta. This is the solving for two planar manipulator again. This is the model. Okay, previous we have same model, that is 2D planar model. So here we are using same model, that is theta 1 theta 2 then origin 2. So we are defining using theta 1 and theta 2, we are defining the interfactor. Okay, that means which position we can move like that. Okay, that is defined by the accuracy of the inverse kinematics. Okay, we are finding the value of with respect to the theta 1 and theta 2. So note that there are two answers for theta 1 based elbow up and down. So 3-point DVF robots are master robots are made of two interconnected 3 DVF that is elbow joint and next workspace. Workspace limited the depend on the joint limits presence of objects. For example, if we have length of the joints L1 and L2 is the maximum workspace covered by the robot is L1 plus L2. So minimum length covered by the robot is L1 minus L2. These are the main process of forward and inverse kinematics. Next, inverse kinematics are used in the most of the robots that for identify the final output of the process. For identifying the inverse kinematics, we are using some of the solutions for that is solvability, that closed form solution. Closed form solution define the multiple variables given to the robot input and find out the what is the maximum workspace, so what is the minimum workspace, like that we are defined. So it can cover all the area of the robot workspace, like that we are defining, that is a closed form solutions. Next, solvability process depend on the singularities. So singularities means the robot cannot reach that position like that. So that is defined and accessed by the inverse kinematic process. These are the main application of inverse kinematics and forward kinematics. I hope you all know about the basics of uh, forward kinematics and inverse kinematics.